Yeah, good evening. It's Jim from JAGfx.com. It is Tuesday, the 26th of November 2019. This is my weekly analysis video where I go over all of the trades I'm currently on, all the pairs I'm looking at on the high probability and the mod MACD methods. This is all on the daily charts. Also, we'll have a quick look at some other stuff. We'll go to the Facebook group. Everyone's more than welcome to join. JAGfx private group here. Welcome to all those new members. There's been quite a few in the last few days, a week or so. We've cracked the 5,000. Thank you very much for everyone that's been a member, whether new or old. Now, just when you come in here, I strongly suggest you go to the top announcement pinned post from Christina. It tells you where stuff is in here, all right? So if you read this, you can then click over to the files here. I'm not sure where it is on a handheld device, but on my laptop here. And this gives you a lot of information, recommendations, daily chart analysis, YouTube videos, Telegram links, scripts, custom indicators, trade screenshots. Every trade I take in the group, I post in a shared folder, and trade results. I'll show you that spreadsheet in a minute. That's shared also. FAQs, if you've got some questions, and the multiple trade spreadsheet I use. So that's all in the JAGfx in the files folder. Let's have a look. We'll have a quick look at our spreadsheet, so I'll give you an idea what's going on. This is the spreadsheet I share. You can see there's a few people having a look at the moment. Some Google Sheets, whatever you call it. We started this one 26th of June 2019. It's a HP, high probability, and mod MACD comp combined. So that's this spreadsheet here. Winners are normally in blue. Losers are in this ugly pinky reddish salmon colour. Break-even trades are in this green, close to break-even anyway. When you see yellow, it normally means there's been a partial close. So, for example, this buy on the Euro Aussie, bought there, got a stop and place there. I've closed out half. There's my original size. There's what I've closed. That's what's happened so far. So that's the spreadsheet. You can see 422 trades. They've all been called live in the Facebook group and the Telegram group. So if you slip over to this one, the second page, HP and MM results, just shows each pair. I'm just trying to keep a bit of a record, see which pairs are good and which pairs aren't. Pips and dollar amount, you can see it all, start date. All the dollar amount and all the pips are all based on a base lot of 0.02. That's what I originally go on every trade with. So I base everything off that. So if I close a trade, it's only 0.01 and it's 100 pips. It's not 100 pips, it's 50 pips because I'm basing it on 0.02. Says how many pips I've made so far, positive. That's a misleading number, so don't get too concerned about it. More the dollars, we're doing all right, 3,866 just on a small amount, so it's going all right. Let's have a look at the news. And guys, if I'm talking too quick or you don't understand my accent, Australian accent, you can either slow down the video completely, or if I'm not talking fast enough for you, speed it up. You'll see when we get to the charts, you might want to pause, etc. So let's have a look at the week's news. Next one for me, this is all local time, so I'm in Vietnam. So it's Tuesday. My next news is at 10 p.m, which is about an hour and 10 minutes, and it's out of the US. And if you're ever in this and you're curious what the news means, all you do is come over and see the little envelope, and once you put your cursor, open detail, so you can see what the CB consumer confidence is. It tells you what it is, when it comes out, and how it may affect the currency. And there's other sort of relevant news at the side there. So it's just a matter of clicking on that. So this is the Forex factory. It's a very quiet week actually. Look, going to Wednesday, just a talking head. Aussie construction work, Chicago PMI, New Zealand business confidence, private capital expenditure. Nothing exciting. Friday, GDP, I guess, is a big one for Canada, and that's about it. So, like I always say, not necessarily, if the numbers come way off, because you always see on the list here, you've got a forecast, what the experts forecasted. So if they come in way off, because this is your actual numbers here. See this one here, forecast 0.6%, coming at 1.8. This one, 0.5, coming at 1.6. Experts aren't so expert sometimes, but they're smarter than me, I guess. All right, let's switch to the charts. We've got it down here. So this is my profile for all of my daily charts I'm on. If they're indented like this one, up the Aussie yen, means there's no trade on. If they're extended like this, the Aussie Swiss, means there's a trade on. They're in alphabetical order. I think there's 28 pairs plus gold and silver. The ones that give me all the grief. So let's start. We'll go through them one at a time. Pound yen. Now, on my chart, you'll see various coloured lines. A grey vertical line generally means I'm just looking at something. Something's got my attention. In this case, it's a green dot on the QMP filter with the MACD platinum below the zero level. I didn't take the buy trade. I'd already drawn this. If you just move that out of the way, you'll see that's a previous high. So these blue aqua lines, a blue aqua line normally, trend line normally signifies something. It's got my attention. Could be a double top, double bottom, a trend line, looking for a trend line break, etc. We see examples. So there's nothing doing on this chart at the moment. MAs are all tight. Look at that. That's about, what's that? That's from there to there is 20 trading days, 1 month, sideways, complete sideways. 20, remember there's only 20 trading days in a month. It's just been sideways for a month. You'd have to drop down the lower time frame. So if you drop down the 1 hour and have a look at that, at least there's been, well, there's that grey dotted line. So you could trade the 1 hour, you know, but the daily is giving you nothing. I'm not sure about the 4 hour. 4 hours, a bit tough going too. Daily's definitely nothing doing. All right, we'll move along. USD CAD. Now you can see I've got the QQE filter on. I don't need it on the chart. I'm just curious about, I've drawn this trend line up here, this blue trend line. I want to see, because there's still a red dot on the QMP filter, so that sell signal is still valid. So if I've got a break of that trend line to the downside, then I could take a second sell. My first sell was stopped out. You can see minus 91. So I took a loss, and now I'm looking for a potential second sell. Or if I do get a buy signal, it wouldn't be valid because the MACD platinum's above the zero level. But then I've drawn this other line across here, so it's a potential area of resistance. So price could come up and bounce off that. It could go break straight through, no big deal, but it's just something that's got my attention. Now, if I see red trend lines like this, it signifies some sort of normally divergence, and it'll be bearish divergence in this case. So that was a hidden bearish divergence. And I can tell you now, these hidden bearish divergences normally work out, maybe not the first go. Say, for example, I got a buy signal. I could take that and hedge it, then take a second sell. They tend to work out most of the time. You can see it's very flat too, this pair. So it's USD CAD, just waiting, nothing doing at the moment. AusCAD, again, green trend lines, means I'm looking at potential bullish divergence. I draw these trend lines every day as the market progresses. There's still no confirmation here, as there's no blue dot on the MACD platinum, nor is there any green dot in the QMP filter. But the way price is going, that's setting up for possible bullish divergence. So nothing doing in there at the moment. Pretty boring so far, except for this one. Euro New Zealand. I cleared out my sells. The MACD's below the zero level. MACD Platinum's below the zero level and has been for some time. I'm actually in a very high risk trade here. You can read my notes. I'm in 3 buy trades. So when you see vertical blue lines, dotted lines, that's the candle I took the entry on. And the horizontal cross line, blue, is the buy levels. So one was taken up here, second one was taken here, third one was taken here. This is like catching a falling knife. My overall break even is marked by these yellow dotted lines. You can see my notes here. Overall break even at 174, 164 on plus 0.22. So with plus, I want to be above that yellow line. In this case, I'm not. So I'm losing a fair bit on here at the moment, but I'm committed to a sequence of trades. And with the MACD platinum below the zero level, I'm looking for it still to go up. My bias is to the upside, even though price is going down badly. I'm considering that it may find support around this 240 LMA, but at the moment this is super high risk, and I called that at the time. It's not the, like if you're just taking the trade and you stops, you would have been sweet on this one, but you know, some of my trading is high risk with the hedging technique, and this is a gamble I took, and it's not paying off so far. CAD Swiss, this is another one that's getting a bit messy, but it's a pair that, if I show you, it doesn't move much. I'll just zoom out a bit. Look at this. It's a nice trendy sort of pair, so it's pretty easy to, well, not easy, but you know, it's a forgiving pair, if that's a word. So it looks like an absolute dog's breakfast in here. There's lines everywhere. You can just read my notes. They're normally in chronological order, as I said. And this is another one I've got myself in a sequence with. I've taken a few pips. Overall break-evens all the way up here, which is not that far, is it? It's up near that high. So it's only 120 pips. Not a great deal. It's a fair bit on this pair, but it's not a big move on a daily chart. And the good thing is, I guess, it's not above this resistance level here. See this, the blue aqualine, I'll just show you again. See, that's a top. You know, that's a fairly strong area of resistance, and price has bounced over, what, 4 times now. So hopefully it'll pop up there again. In the meantime, I can work my way out of these trades. So say it pops up and then rolls over, I could consider getting rid of some of the buy trades on the way up, etc. So there is you can get a little bit creative with your trade management. As I said, this is high risk, this hedging stuff. We'll go to some New Zealand CAD, similar baby. I've got trades everywhere. I like it because all the trades are in the same area. I'm currently hedged, so overall break even is hedged. So I'm just sitting here. Look at this, the MACD's been above the 0 level. So I'm looking for a sell trade. I could consider selling some, closing out some of these buys if I do get a sell trade. It looks like a lot happening. There is, but it's another pair that's fairly forgiving, New Zealand CAD. So, and even if I do get in a bit of strife, I can eventually work my way out of it confidently. I can work my way out of the New Zealand CAD. Could take a couple of months, but in the meantime, hopefully I'll pick up some other pairs. All right, so as I said, you can pause the video, have a look. So red is my sell trades, blue is my buy trades. You can just, you know, extend it and have a look. It's messy. There's up and down, up and down. If I was trading the traditional method, you know, if I took this buy here, stop would have been, say, below this low, would have been stopped out. That sell wouldn't have been valid, would have taken a buy, would have probably got out of that to break even. I think I went through this in my last video. That sell there would have taken that, and that was a winner. That buy here is Divergence. You probably got a few pips, worst case, break even, sell, probably your stop would have been up here, so you would have been eventually stopped out. Second sell, probably stopped out in that too. No other, that sell there, stopped out. So it would have been a bit messy, but you wouldn't have been in so many trades if you'd gone that way. Oz, Japanese yen, nothing happening at the moment. Again, possible diversion setting up. We have a blue dot on the MACD platinum below the 0 level, so I've got a bias to the upside, buy. Draw my, it's getting a bit tight in here in the MAs, but it's, again, that's looking like hidden bullish divergence. So we've got higher highs on price and higher lows on price and lower lows on the oscillator, the MACD platinum. So I like the hidden divergence. All right, here's a traditional trade that's got a stop in place, Euro CAD. I took a sell here. My stops are marked by a red dotted line. You can read my level notes here. I normally write some notes, just something that gets my attention, and I write this divergence. Overall break even at point of entry, minus 0.02. So I'm above the point of entry, so I'm losing this trade, which is pretty obvious. The CAD's pairs aren't kind to me, as I always whinge about every week. So we'll just keep on working it. It's not a bad pair to trade this normally, but it's been hard work lately. New Zealand USD going nowhere quickly. It's been pretty range bound for a couple of months now. Nice big move down, still since gone sideways. It's a pair I like to trade. Again, you could probably drop down a lower time frame, so we drop down to the 1 hour. Look at this. There's a great well, there's trades here all over the place. Look at that buy there. You're not going to get a lot of pips out of them, but 17, 20 pips. It's not a big moving pair. Buy there might be a bit ugly. Probably get stopped out. As soon as you get that sell signal, just get out of that buy trade there. Then take the next buy trade. You would have made back your money. There's a good buy trade in there. If you got stopped out in that first one, if you weren't using hedging. So that's just gives you an example. Lower time frame, because there's not much happening on the daily at the moment. Oz Swiss. You can see my notes. High risk traders. Price is already in MAs, but I like the hidden bullish divergence. I've got a stop in place below this low here. You can see my divergence, see my buy, there's my stop. You can read my notes. It's a slow moving pair, this one, so I'm quite happy to try and we're down a little bit at the moment, like a lot of pairs. Euro Swiss, another trade. Here we go. There's the traditional stop in place. MACD still below the zero level, getting close. Now, what happens if this MACD platinum gets to the zero level, goes through it? I'll look at closing half and bring the stop up so I don't lose on the overall trade. It was a high-risk trade as the trend is down and price is close to the MAs. You can see my notes as I keep on saying. Swiss franc, Japanese yen, nothing doing at the moment. Potentially setting up for hidden bullish divergence. Just potential at this stage. Nothing is confirmed. But I draw these lines in every day when I go through my charts, and I'll look for always looking ahead, trying to plan ahead. Have a look at what's happened in the past. Have we broken previous highs? Is it on the way up? The trend, MA is getting close. It's been a downtrend to the left. MAs are tightening up, starting to cross. Is the trend reversing and going up? See, normally hidden divergence, normally trend continuation. So an argument could be that even though the MAs are down, this high took out that previous high and come close, took this previous high, so you could say the trend's reversing, so we're going to the upside, price will roll over back to roughly this area, then bouncing head up. Sounds good in theory? Remember, price is always king. All right, here we go, Euro yen, another one's going sideways for a few days now. I took a buy back here, I've already closed half, set a stop in place, that'll be on that red dotted line. I took a sell here, already closed half, that'll be on that red dotted line above my sell entry. And I took a second buy, and I think, oh no, that's this one here, the latest one. So these are all independent trades, there's no hedging here. Now you can read my notes, I've gone through all the divergences there, and overall break even, I'm plus 0.02 net long. So my overall break even's down here, so as long as price stays above that, I'm well and truly above the break even. But it's, look at that, a week worth of crap there. But anyway, that's the Euro yen. Not looking too bad there. Let's just move along. Now we've got USD, Japanese yen, another sideways day. Geez, I think my wife, she goes back to Australia on the 2nd of December, so I'm going to drop down a lower time frame, just do a bit of trading on the lower time frames. So this crap at the moment is just doing my head in on the daily charts. I can see why people get bored. Look at this from there. Basically, it's just going nowhere. And the yen's not a bad pair to trade either. Euro USD in a buy, it went up. It's a high risk buy. I've got a stop in place down here. I've got hidden divergence. A lot of hidden divergence lately. So we'll just see what happens here. I've got to stop all the way down here. The MACD platinum's still below the zero level. Got plenty of pips in the bank on the euro, which is not one of my favourite pairs. Surprisingly, I've got a few. JAG, good setup. So yeah, I'm down a little bit at the moment. Possibility if a sell signal presents here, it won't be a valid sell signal. Say for example, it's a red QMP dot. I might just get out of this buy trade and look for another opportunity, take a second buy. So yeah. Moving right along, Aussie, New Zealand. This is one pair that is going well for me. Going to sell all the way back here. It was a decent side trade because it was in a sequence. And just this morning, drew this grey dotted vertical line in, and I've closed another 0.01 and move my stop down to 106,591. So I'm just tightening it up a bit. Normally I just drop down to a 4-hour chart to have a look where I might want to place my stop. So it's just above, not looking at that candle wick there, just look at this little sort of rise there and have a look at the 4-hour chart and see what's happening. And just keep it jammed up on that. So that's a good trade, doing all right. It's not a bad pair to trade sometimes, the Aussie Kiwi. Now, this is a bit of a... All right, I've got a big note on here. I'm looking at a 4-hour chart, and I'll show you why. All right, this morning, I got a signal to sell, and it was on this big, I'll just make it bigger. It was on this big bullish candle, so it would have been on the open of this candle to take the sell. I was reluctant. I'm at this high here. This line was already drawn in. There is divergence. I just didn't like that big bullish candle, and because I'm plus 10, plus 0.10, my overall break even's not that. I'll just go back to it's not that far away. So it kept on popping up. It would have been all right. So my overall break even's a long way away. So what I said this morning in the Facebook group and the Telegram group was I was going to keep an eye on this, and I might, if we get a bearish candle, this closes bearish tomorrow, I will then take that sell. I'm probably giving up a few pips there. I could consider closing one or both of these buy trades, but then I'd be high risk just with all sell trades on. It's not something ideal, but I could have a look, because at the moment I'm plus 10. So if I close, say, one trade and then took a sell and give myself, say, negative 0.10, something like that, you know. So that's why I just went to the 4-hour chart just to keep an eye on it today, because there's those same trend lines. There's that, you can see that's the sell signal today. So I've given up a few pips by not taking that sell signal. 66 pips. It sounds like a lot. It's a pound Aussie. It's not that big a deal. So it's something I'm looking at. Even on the 4-hour chart this morning when I was looking at it, it was sort of in this level here, there. And you look at the MACD Platinum there, it was coming up, everything pointing to a buy still, even on the 4-hour chart. But, you know, it hasn't broken the previous high, so yeah, it's definitely something I have to think about, and I'll have another think about it tomorrow. The way it looks at the moment, it looks like it's dropping, but we'll see. All right, moving right along. Euro pound. This is a dog of a setup. Look at this thing, it's just sideways forever. But I'm in a sell back here, which that's a good thing. And I've tightened my stop right up today. Today I've moved it down just close to the action. It's all very ugly, not pretty. Even with the possible bullish divergence setting up, I wouldn't get too excited about it. The MACD Platinum's still well above the 0 level. It's just an ugly, it's sometimes a tough pair to trade when it gets in this sideways sort of stuff. At other times it has some nice trends. It's, you know, I know a lot of people don't like the Euro pound. Right, Euro Aussie, it is a buy back here. You can read my notes. I've already closed half and stop moved, and today's stop was moved again because we got a red dot. So my stop would have been down, say, below this low up until this morning. As soon as I would have closed half when the MACD Platinum went through the 0 level. Then my stop would have been moved to there, just below this level. Then today, once I get that red dot on the MACD Platinum, stops jam right up. So you can see it's jammed up in there. Probably go to a 4-hour chart, you'll probably see a better, so it's just below all these little lows on the 4-hour, and you can see the 4-hour sort of wants to go up a little bit, but that's what, you know, it's the only time I sort of drop down the other time frames just to help with stop placement or something like that. So at the moment, I'm locking in a profit, and already I'm looking for potential to the other side. Like there's slight divergence there, not a great deal, but double top on the MACD Platinum possible, and you can see the possible bearish divergence there. And it's all a bit tight, a bit messy. We'll see how it goes out. Aussie USD in a sell back here, as you can see, went through the 0 level on the MACD Platinum, so heading down. Already closed half, stop set, and then the stop's been moved. The stop would have been moved when I got this blue dot on the MACD Platinum. Remember, MACD Platinum, blue dots, that's a buy. My bias changes to buy. If it's red dots above, it's sell. And I'm already, again, looking at possible hidden bullish divergence setting up. So ready to go the other way. You can see the high got taken, this, I had the divergence there, the regular bearish divergence. You can see here there's a couple of bits, a couple of, what do you call it, instances of it. And which means that it was a high, so it took out this high, and trend could be changing. Pound CAD, oh yeah, it's starting to look all right. This is a high risk one. I'm in 3 sell trades, as you can see. My overall break even's not that far away on the pound CAD. I took this a couple of days ago, on Friday it would have been, and it went against me yesterday, but today it's starting to pull back down to my entry level. I just wasn't real keen on the, even though there's obviously, I didn't write any, did I write? Oh yeah, but there is regular bearish divergence, bearish divergence. So yeah, there is bearish divergence there. It's a bit close to the MACD Platinum. I wouldn't normally take a sell there, but with the divergence, that sort of just gives me a bit more confidence in taking that trade. CAD Yen, we're in a couple of trades here. I'm in I've hedged here. I'm in a sequence. Took a buy. I like this trade up here. It's not too bad. It gives you a few pips sometimes. Took a buy, went against me pretty well straight away. Took a sell hedge, and that dropped down. And we've got another blue dot on the MACD Platinum below the 0 level. It's starting to turn up. You know, you could probably throw the QQE advance on the chart, and it gives you an idea of possibly when it could be turning to the upside. So to get a green QMP filtered dot, I need this solid line to break through that dotted line and confirm. I've already got the blue dot here, but this looks like it's still a bit off. You can see it sort of try to go up, but it's just pulling back. So that's what I need there. That's the CAD Yen. So we're hedged at the moment. Pound Swiss, look at this thing too, it's going sideways. This is my one and only mod MACD, the fast MACD trade. At the moment, it was taken on this cross of the fast MACD. Remember, that's just a standard MACD with settings of 6, 12 and 1. It's my main indicator, just crossing the 0 level. That's a trade entry, and it has to be in conjunction with this 25 SMA, which is this blue one. So price has to be above that for a buy, closed above that for a buy, or closed below for a sell. You could consider the the QMP filters if that's another filter you want to use, but it's just above the entry level and going no. Look at this. This is crap. These pound pairs. So, you know, I've been whinging about Brexit for about 2 years now. Now, when there's nothing in the news about it, because they're coming into election, I think, which is coming up. That'll be a big thing to look out for the pound pairs too. I think that's coming up before Christmas, so that'll get this pound pairs moving. But in the meantime, nothing. New Zealand Swiss, nothing doing on this pair at the moment. Again, just drawing trend lines in place. If you've been watching me on the Facebook group or the Telegram group the last couple of weeks, it has been very quiet in the trading on the daily charts. Right, move right along to the USD Swiss franc. This is one pair it does my head in. As you can tell by the lack of pips on it. This blue dotted line, parity 1.00000, which basically means for every $1 US is equivalent to 1 Swiss franc. It's a big number. It's big on the Swiss franc. And as you can see, it's been pretty tough to trade. You could probably eke a few pips out of there. Again, you can drop down lower time frames if that was your thing. There's a 1 hour chart, so you can see a few setups. You could probably get a few pips out of that, depending on what they're not too bad. Like something like this buy here, even though it's right at 240, definitely that sell, something like that. You get a few pips there. You could, the MAs are super tight. When the MAs are super tight, you can trade basically either direction. MACD Platinum's a long way below the zero level. Take the buy, good little trend up, have your stop below the lows. It's not rocket science, is it? All right, let's move right along. Pound New Zealand. another one that's going. Now, I've drawn this line. I've talked about my last video when I drew to there. And I could just extend it through. So it was a high there, high there. So bang, resistance, broke resistance, come down. Now it's support. Bang, bang, bang. You can see price now. Still sitting on it. Not sure what to do. MACD Platinum's below the 0 level. So that would have been, say, a buy signal in there. Not a good one. Price has never come back to the MAs, close enough to my liking. And it was a smart decision to stay out for now by looks. But it could, roll over and turn back up again. So it could still be a buy, in there. And I've got a buy bias. Right, pound USD. This is a bit ugly too. I think I'm hedged here. Yeah, I'm hedged. There's been in a few trades there. That's why I've got so many pips. See all the pips, 6,470. I was in a sequence buys and sells. I decided to get out of all my buys, and I think I took a sell up here, and try to write it down. And as you can see, it didn't. And I got a buy signal, which is a valid buy signal. So I closed that sell there, which left me with these 3 sells over too exposed, way too exposed. So I hedged to the buy side, and now it's rolling over down to the downside. So I'm locking in a big loss there. So I've got to just wait and see what happens, and see if there's any options for me to say to maybe just close out this buy. If I get another sell signal, but I need the MACD Platinum come above the 0 level really. If I've got a sell signal, I could say close out the buy, take a loss, which would take some of the pips from there, which is no big deal. Then I could look at add another sell and try and bring it back down again. Let's have a quick look at the hour chart on the pound. See, this is the 1 hour chart. That's not bad. Yeah, it might be a bit tough in here. Definitely nothing too exciting. It's probably a good buy in there, probably a decent sell here. Yeah. All right. Let's keep on moving. We're sort of dragging on a bit. New Zealand yen. This is one I took a sell back here. Got to stop in place. This is just downright. I drew the blue trend line in there to see if there was a potential, if it broke, to take another sell, but it just broke and was on my original entry level, so I didn't take a second sell. Now it's just grinding sideways. Look at this, it's absolutely rubbish, and it's close to my stop, so I'll probably just take a loss here. Got a few pips in the bank, so it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's just an ugly one. And here's my favourite metals. They're doing my head in two. In lots of trades in gold, as you can read my notes here. I'm hedged at the moment, just waiting for some clear direction. The good thing is they're all pretty close to each other, so it gives me a better chance of getting a little bit creative and try and work my way out of them. And I think silver, I took a buy, and it's starting to pull back a little bit. I've got a stop in place down here, but yeah, it's just gone down. So you can read my notes. So that's about it for the chart trading. Yeah, it's been very quiet, guys. Very quiet on the daily charts. So if you're looking for action, then do drop down to the lower time frames if your lifestyle permits. Don't force trades. It's just a matter of being patient. As I said, the UK elections coming up, and there's always news events, and there's always something happening in the world. Eventually, they will move. They'll break out of these crappy ranges, and we'll get some action. All right. Thanks for watching. Much appreciated. If you do like the video, please subscribe, or at least hit the like button. Do me a favour. It's all good. And again, thanks for joining the groups, whether it be the Telegram, the Facebook group, and thanks for any of the emails. I get lots of emails, lots of questions. And that's about it. Enjoy your night, guys, and I'll get this uploaded ASAP. Cheers.